Francophone, 2 fois président, passer le pouvoir à un anglophone. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'aventure? Amen, c'est le président.
Hi, good day to the beautiful people of the Cameroons. When I come to talk in connection to our party political broadcast, I make sure I talk about what is achievable. It is understandable that most people are as good as the information that they have. So sometimes I don't blame people for saying what they do say, but most often we might have different opinions based on the fact that we understand certain things that other people they don't understand. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another political party broadcast by myself, Maitre Mola Alex Ndiveli Singer, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Today, I want to talk about Mr. Biya's visit to France for the Olympics. I find it incongruous and grotesque that we have a national disaster in the Cameroons, that's La République du Cameroun and British Cameroon, those two countries that came together. And Mr. Biya is in France to watch an entertainment. Olympics is an entertainment, it's sport. We have a national disaster in the Cameroon. Mr. Biya doesn't even know. The ruling CPDM, they don't even know we have a natural disaster in the Cameroons. The senators, the members of parliament, the mayors, they don't even know we have a national disaster in the Cameroons. And Mr. Biya is in France for an entertainment. Olympics is about sports, literature, music. It's an entertainment. President Biya, if I'm right, was elected to govern La République du Cameroun, the French Cameroon. I understand that Mr. Aidjo annexed British Cameroons. And now, Mr. Biya is running La République du Cameroun, that country, and the annexed part of British Cameroon. Okay. Everything remains equal. He should be governing that country. You have Mugu, members of parliament. Let me tell you, I love the members of parliament from La République du Cameroun. They are protecting their interests. Sometimes, we who come from British Cameroons, we blame La République francophones too. I don't blame them. People fight for their interests. When you vote for Mugu, members of parliament, people who don't understand their left and right in British Cameroons, that is what you get. The job of a representative, because they are not even parliamentarians, they are in a national assembly. National assembly was a French creation that was created in order to draft a constitution. So in the Cameroons, I would call them parliamentarians, but they are not parliamentarians. Parliamentarians, they don't go to National Assembly, they go to a parliament. So we don't even have parliamentarians in Cameroon. We have people who don't even know where they belong to. So when we put people, I've seen senators, parliamentarians, they come and they question the government. They don't even know they are part of the government. Nobody questioned Mr. Biya. Listen, a country is made up of people of different diversities. Mr. Biya is using taxpayers' money to go to France. Nobody is questioning Mr. Biya. There are a lot of ministers, other people going with Mr. Biya. It costs a lot of money. Nobody. And the same people, some people say they are opposition in the Cameroons. They don't question if it is right for Mr. Biya to go to France for an entertainment. Olympics. Olympics is an entertainment. Sports is an entertainment. Music is an entertainment. That's why Mr. Biya left Cameroon. Why there is a major disaster. I know some of you, you must be surprised that why is Metro Alexi Singer talking about a disaster in Cameroon? Because the world have evolved. And I'll tell you what's the disaster. Some of you don't even know that there's disaster in the Cameroons because of Stockholm Syndrome. That's a fact. What's the disaster in the Cameroons? To be honest, the fact that there is no electricity in the Cameroons for 60 years or more in some parts of the Cameroons under Mr. Biya's regime with Aijo is a disaster. I cannot expect anything less in the Western world. If I don't have electricity in 1 minute, it's a disaster. Then not to talk of people who have never seen electricity in their community for more than 60 years. And Mr. Biya is using taxpayers' money to go to France. To do what? Mr. Biya is not going for the Olympics. He's going to see the de facto president of Cameroon, Mr. Macron. That's why Mr. Biya is in France. He's not there because of the Olympics. He's going to see the head of state of La République du Cameroon and British Cameroon. That's why Mr. Biya is there. Let's face fact. Then there's other things. I won't talk about it. I know why he's there. I won't talk about it on this program. Besides seeing the de facto president of the Cameroon, Mr. Macron, there are other reasons which I won't talk about it on this program. So should Mr. Biya leave a country that he should be governing and go to the Olympics? The answer is no, in accordance to British Cameroon National Party. That's our stance. A year ago today, there was landslide in Yaoundé. Some people, they lost their home. Some people died. The government of La République du Cameroon was meant to pay some of the victims some money. It's 1 year today. Nothing is happening. And Mr. Biya is taking a lot of people from the Cameroons and they are going for an entertainment Olympics. In Yaoundé, I'm talking about Yaoundé. There are other parts in the Cameroons. There was a flood or landslide in Biya or whatsoever happened in Biya. Mr. Biya doesn't go there. You are there to govern a country, Mr. Biya. When there is natural disaster in the Cameroons, you don't go to Olympics to go and entertain yourself. I'll tell you how you run a country. Under a week ago, in Manchester, in the United Kingdom, an officer was suspended, a police officer. A video went viral. The police officer was beating a man at the airport, in Manchester airport. it sparked an outcry. Immediately that video became viral. What happened? The police in this country, they have to submit themselves to what we call independent police watchdog. For the watchdog investigate police officers who, in case they think that they might have committed something that's worth investigation. The Prime Minister of the UK, who is governing the United Kingdom, stepped in and talk about it, that there are concerns about the video. The Prime Minister made the people of the United Kingdom to understand that there is going to be an investigation. And he spoke to the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper. Home Secretary is like, I don't know if it's the same thing like territorial administration, because the Home Secretary in the United Kingdom is responsible for policing the safety of the people, UK borders, and other things. The main job is for the safety of the people of the United Kingdom. So the Secretary of State for Home Office, Yvette Cooper, he made it clear. He said it is essential that the police, they have trust in the community, and that the public, they expect high standard from those who keep us safe. But when you look in the Cameroons, Minister Atanganji, who is territorial administration, let me say it's an equivalent, including the police, will come and he's threatening people. When you are in a position like territorial administration, you're there to guarantee the public that they are safe. But we see Minister Atanganji comes and threatens people. We see the police in our country, they are no longer the British Cameroon police. Normally, British Cameroon police, they don't bear arms. They protect us. But today, they threaten us. Today, they stop vehicles, they ask for bribe. Today, they are doing things that it is no longer police. The Anglophone police were meant to protect us. Today, La République du Cameroon have made sure that they take people from other parts of La République and give them a police uniform. Putting on a police uniform doesn't mean that you have the values of British police. We no longer have that value of the British police. People join police today just for the sake of employment. But police, gendarme, bees, military, they are there to oppress the people. They are not there to protect our people. If they were there to protect our people, why is it that most of the military or the police that they send to fight decent in the English part of Cameroon are French speaking? Because they are there to oppress. If you ask most, I've seen even British Cameroonians who are police officers. When they see an Anglophone, they speak in French. Do you know why? Because they know French is the language to oppress people. That's a fact. So my point is, we have a natural disaster. No electricity. No pipe bomb water in most parts of the Cameroons. No roads in most parts of the Cameroons for more than 60 years. No reference hospitals, because reference hospital, in accordance to the constitution of the Cameroons, the word of the Cameroons must be shared to all the nooks and crannies, to all the ethnicities in the Cameroons. But some places they have roads. Some places they have lights, others they don't. Some places they have pipe-borne water, others they don't. It is against the spirit of the constitution of the Cameroons. So we have a natural disaster. And some people think it is wise for Mr. Biya to go to France to meet the president of Cameroon, Mr. Macron. And that's how we are being ruled in that country. In the 1960s, when the people of Africa said to the colonial masters, enough is enough, the colonial master looked for some puppets, African leaders, and hand over power to them. Now it is chalk ice, it is coconut, it is African people doing the dirty work of the colonial masters. That's why when they call them in the Francophonie, all of them, I've never seen in my life you can call European leaders in the same room. They rush there. You call them in the Commonwealth, the puppets, the dull African leaders. They are there in the Commonwealth. You call them in Chinese African Summit, the dull African leaders. They go there, they pack them in the same room. You call them in African American Summit, the dull African leaders, all of them, they go there, they are there in the same room. You call them in what? Russian African Summit, the dull African leaders, they go there. Africans, we sit there and look. And the reason these dull African leaders are doing what they are doing is because we as citizens, we chukhet, people who remain the common man, we tolerate this nonsense. We tolerate this nonsense. These people are meant to look after us as Africans, but they spend their time looking after the colonial masters. The reason why the Muzungus were kicked out from Africa is because of what these African poodles, puppets are doing. They are doing the same thing. Why we kick out these Muzungus? Because they were oppressing us. So they have used chalk ice. They have used coconut to be oppressing us. Africa don't have leaders. We have people who are working for the West, for Russia, for China. If you look, Africa is called the mother of all continents. Do you know why? Because that is the first place that human beings started living. You look at the pyramid, more than 4,000 years ago it was constructed. So why are we not developed? Because 54 African leaders have decided that we cannot industrialize Africa. We must only be exporting the diamonds, the natural resources, the cocoa, the timbers. What? We can do that. We have enough Africans who are engineers, who are doctors, who are professionals, who can be changing our natural resources into finished product in Africa and create jobs. But these people, these 54 African so-called leaders who are working for the West, they are the problem. Can we not manufacture gold in Africa? We can. Can we not do that in manufacture our diamond in Africa? We can. Can we not use our timber? Why can't we produce those things and sell them to the West and make more money? But we have 54 African leaders who are working for the West. If you cannot stop them, Africa will never move on. So, ladies and gentlemen, my point precisely, I like to talk about the Cameroons because that's where I come from. But Africa is a mess. If you look at all the African countries, look at where the Caucasians, when they come to Africa, where they live or what, why is it that the area that they live is more developed? Johannesburg, Cape Town in South Africa, in the Cameroons. Maybe is it Bonanjo or what? It's cleaner than other parts of the Cameroons. You go to Nigeria, the same thing. Go to Namibia, the same thing. Do you know why? Because black people, I don't like to use that word, Africans, not black people, they have leaders who don't care about their countries. There's a pact. They work for the West. They don't work for Africans. Because if you have just 1 year, you can industrialize Africa and everything will change. But unfortunately, we have leaders who were put there by the West and they are working for the West. So my main point is, it's a disgrace, it's a disappointment that there's no electricity, no pipe-borne water in most parts of the Cameroons, no modern roads or no motorway for the last 60 years. And Mr. Biya is spending taxpayers' money to go and see his great-great-grandson, Mr. Macron. Is that what we need in the Cameroons? No. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to say goodbye to French poodles. It is time that we need African patriots, people who will fight for Africa, Shaka Zulus, Lumumba. We don't need this type of people. Some of you might see me, Maitre Alex Lissingham, abroad. The people who suffer a lot are the diaspora. Most people think that, oh, we are fine, we are okay. Do you know what it means to leave your home and come to a foreign land and start all over again? My brothers and sisters, it is better to stay in your homeland. It doesn't matter how rich you are. It doesn't matter whatever you have, what car you drive. Home is home. So I see some people sometimes, they say, oh, the diaspora, they don't understand something. Diaspora, they understand Cameroons, Africa, more than you living in Cameroon. Do you know why? No normal person will leave the land of his or her bed and go through the Mediterranean, risk to die to come to a foreign land. So diaspora, they are depressed. And when some of you sit in Africa, in the Cameroons, you say, oh, diaspora, they don't know anything. We know best. 90% of the people living abroad, they left because they were suffering in the Cameroons. Nobody will go through Mexico and pass through a death trap to go to America. Nobody will pass through there. Every day people die in the Mediterranean. Do you know why they die? Because they believe if they stay in the Cameroons, if they stay in Africa, they are going to die. So you, some of you, there's no nationality called diaspora. Most people who are out of the Cameroons are out of the Cameroons because they know they would have died if they would have stayed in the Cameroons. So sometimes when you call people diaspora, respect them. And it's high time. Most of this diaspora, they have realized home is home. I want to go back to my country. So ladies and gentlemen, those of you who think that diaspora are the one causing the trouble in the Cameroons, why are they, first of all, ask yourself, why are they out of their country? Why are they not in their country? Because the country is hell. Because there is a country that for 60 years, Mr. Biya, Mr. Aijo, all the people, they cannot provide electricity. They cannot provide road. They cannot provide pipe-borne water. They cannot provide basic necessity of life. So respect diaspora. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a party political broadcast by myself, Maitre Mola Alex Ndiven Lisinge, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Have a great day.
Un pauvre qui vote ou celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Selon le président. Des vieux, bravo. Les jeunes prennent la route du désert pour entrer à l'aéroport. Comment pouvez-vous nommer un individu à un poste pendant 25 ans, 20 ans, directeur de tant. Vous partagez le pouvoir avec vos familles. Vous partagez le pouvoir avec vos amis. Vous partagez le pays avec vos familles. Vous partagez le pays avec vos familles. Et après quand ils ont volé, vous appelez les papiers, les attrapés. Et après quand ils ont volé, vous appelez les papiers, les attrapés. Qui les avait nommés d'abord dans ce poste-là? C'est toi qui les avais nommés, papa.